As time moves forward, the universe grows smaller and smaller. Oceans become lakes and cities a dot on a map. Borders are fences and countries are neighbors. Planets are vacation getaways. After a couple drinks, my father would say, the world has gotten too small, and there's no room left in it for me. As a child, this idea seemed absurd. The world felt too big to even comprehend, filled with the unknown. But now, trapped inside this cargo ship, and watching the stars pass by the portholes, things are starting to feel real small. Man, I hate space.
I've seen some fishy things in my time. Someone bringing their own coffin is the first.
Coffin?
It's that large coffin-shaped box behind you.
Oh, that. That's the charging station for my, get up here. It's kind of a long story.
Well, brevity is king around here, Tin Man.
Basically, I was in an accident a few years back. Really, gummed up the works inside. Now I need the suit to survive. Well, the suit needs power, and I need the suit. So, hence the coffin.
Thanks for the life story, kid. How about we stop wasting each other's time? I'll haul my sorry self and your belongings to your new apartment. Well, new for you at least. Minus a stain or two.
Yeah, thanks, you're a real mensch. Welcome to Space Station 52. My life packed up into a few boxes. Depressing if I think about it. I could not be happier to be free of that thing. I thought you were heading to my, not-so-new apartment.
Don't be a cold fish. I'll be around to win it.
You must be Mr. Edward Locke, the new repairman.
Mechanical engineer, actually.
Well, here on 52, we wear a lot of hats. Down to a skeleton crew. So don't go rattling bones.
Don't you bother about me. I'll do my job.
Well, that's good to hear, because I have a job for you. My friend over there is having some trouble with his equipment. Why don't you see what you can do? Actually, I have a bigger job for you. But finish up helping my friend first.
Your friend, my favor? Why not? Presumably some salvage from the lake here. Hey, heard you were having some trouble. Yeah, I can relate. But maybe I can help you out. Not wrong about that. My toolbox should be on the pier with the rest of my belongings. Trusty old tools. A portable smelter device of some kind. Looks to be in need of some repairs. Now let's see what we have here. Yeah, no sweat. All right, job's done.
Good news. It's nice to have a repairman around with the last one up and disappearing on us. Now I'll have a moisture recycler with your name on it.
Well, aren't I the lucky repairman? I can't imagine why the last guy would leave such a welcoming place.
I like you. It's gonna take a boat ride, and I don't do water.
Well, I don't fancy myself much of a swimmer.
Yeah, I'll bet you sink like a stone with that gob. I'll fetch the old Inca clanker, the dockmaster. He'll give you a ride.
I watched the dockmaster and his boat disappear into the fog haunting the lake. He said he'd be back in an hour. Somehow I doubt it. The smell of the fresh water was incredible, even through the helmet. Part of 52's water filtration and renewal system. Atmosphere. Famous for their terraforming and artificial life. The space station was one of the first to adopt their system. Weather, a night and day cycle, plants, animals, the works. The solar panel appears a bit old and is covered in detritus, but still looks in working order. Strange. Why would someone just leave it lying about? Looks like the moisture recycler the sheriff was talking about. I'll have to utilize the access panel to see what's clogging up the works. I don't know what's in this thing, but unfortunately the barrel's just too heavy to move by myself. Some forgotten bones of a local creature. Let's hope I don't end up like him. Some spare parts are ditched here, rusted and cracking from being exposed to the weather. Probably not functional. An old excavator bot. It's been sitting here for a spell, but these things are made to survive. The battery looks like a boxer after 12 rounds, but hopefully still has some fight left in it. I gotta power up the battery before I can operate the bot. So fresh and so clean. Let's see how this goes. Some of the cells are damaged, but should provide some power now. The artificial sunlight peeked over the rock face. Beautiful, even if it is bogus. The battery only has enough charge to power up one module at a time. Well, let's get ready to rumble. I could tie this into something. Yeah, I think I'm working backward. I could tie this. Look at that. It actually worked. Well, the cable's down, but now it's good and stuck. Took some doing, but I got it. Barrel's moved. Time to break out the old tools and get to work. Now let's see what we got. They installed an anti-tampering device. Unfortunately, I don't have the key to unlock it. If I remember correctly, I can bypass it by turning the dials so the squares and triangles are opposite each other on all four sides of all four dials. The top left dial appears to already be in the correct position. cold. The first thing I felt when consciousness pierced the darkness. Waking up in a morgue has to be one of the more surreal moments in my life. Felt like some undead monster in a horror movie, back from the grave.
Hey, look at that. Rise and shine. Sheriff said you need to see the doc immediately when you wake up. He doesn't want any more bodies to pile up today.
I have a lot of questions.
And it breaks my sweet little heart that I can't answer them. So go, see the doc, and then find someone who cares. Would you do that for me? The door's behind you.
What's with these people? Oh, my head. Great, now I'm seeing things. Maybe I should see the doc.
Please step onto the scanner to begin your examination.
I guess he's not much for bedside manner, huh?
Engaging bedside manner protocol. Did you hear the news? A group of prisoners hijacked a prison bus and crashed it into a cement truck. The police said to be on the lookout for hardened criminals. Ha ha, ha ha.
Wow, that just happened.
Scanner failure. No living organic material was detected.
Suit must be interfering with the scanner again. I had trouble with this in the past. An earthquake on a space station? That seems a bit odd to say the least. The quake must have broken the dock, and who knows what else. I should check on the dock before I leave. Doesn't look too bad, just a couple blown fuses. I'll need to find some replacements. This may just be the strangest thing I've seen so far. A dangerous object to shove into my pockets.
Glad to see you woke up. It saves us the time of digging two graves. Just kidding. We eject bodies into the vast cold emptiness of space.
Heartwarming. Your deputy wasn't very forthcoming. What exactly happened to me?
Seems you discovered the body of Oakley Baxter and then fainted. The doc must have found you both just lying there. Actually, Oakley was the man you were sent to replace.
How did he die?
Looks like a simple accident. Oakley has been dead for days. So no worries. You're off the hook.
Accident? So he fell into the machine, died, and then sealed himself inside.
Look, new guy. Things are done a certain way around here. Didn't I say not to rattle bones?
It just makes no sense.
We're not going to discuss this further. You'll need a clean bill of health signed off by the doc if you want to leave.
Looks like the quake broke the dock.
Well, fix it. Isn't that your job?
Well, that brings up another problem. Did you feel that earthquake? Isn't that a bit unusual for a space station?
Just the station settling.
Settling? The same space station that's been around for over 100 years?
You'll learn how things work around here, new guy.
I see my tools are behind you. Should have a couple spare fuses.
Sorry, have to hold on to those. Part of a crime scene and all.
I thought it was an accident.
rattling bones? I suppose it would be alright if you had just a couple fuses.
I guess I'll be going.
See you around.
An accident? Who is he kidding? If he's not gonna look into this murder, then I will. A big bag of medical waste in the lobby. Wonderful. Some resident evildoer has left their biohazard containers here. I'm not familiar with the show she's watching, but she's certainly enamored with it. An old sweet sop PC. You don't see the smile anymore. Never was a fan myself. There's only one name on the sign-in sheet. Charlie G. McLehany. It's dated nearly 2 months ago. Alright, just turn your head and cough. I need to match the colors of the wheels on the right to the fuse boxes on the left. The fuse looks blown. I should replace it. And that's the last one. Back up and running. No point. The scanner doesn't work with the suit. The first aid kit is locked up tight. Just a simple lock, though. Might be able to pick it. The blade's too wide to fit in the keyhole. I don't think talking's gonna get me anywhere with this guy. Maybe the worst place I have ever woken up. Maybe. Various beakers and vials. Not sure I want to know why they have these. The label reads caution, dangerous acid. Now what could go wrong carrying this around? At least it's corked tight. Looks like a little rodent is living up in the rafters. Laser bone saw. Battery's almost dead. The lunchbox has something rattling around inside of it. I should take a closer look. Also appears I ripped the cushion fabric when I picked it up. The spring is still attached pretty good. I need something to cut it free. Well, that's done it. But the bone saw's out of juice. A single rubber glove. Doubt anyone will miss this. The label reads somnunium. Take 1 pill before bed. They're prescribed to Oakley Baxter. He's certainly not having trouble sleeping now.
Yeah.
I'll need to find a way to distract her if I want to get my hands on the bottle. Sadly, Oakley won't be needing them. Hopefully, she won't notice these are missing. Let's hope I don't get caught doing this. This is so illegal. Looks like the sleeping gas was just too much for this little guy. He's cold but not frozen. Really gonna need to clean this jacket. My dad dragged me to more than a few crime scenes when I was a kid. It's making this whole thing oddly familiar. According to the medical examiner's report, this is Oakley Baxter, mechanical engineer. I was sent to replace this guy. I guess he didn't just disappear as they thought. The report states he died from blunt force trauma and brain hemorrhaging. It says the key was inserted into his head wound once rendered unconscious, and causing further brain damage. His other wounds were all caused post-mortem, likely by the machine he was shoved into. No fingerprints or DNA were found at the scene. I should see what else I can find. Ticket book. Technically, enforcing violations isn't part of the job, but he seems to have taken it on himself to keep things in check. Only 1 page left in the book. Must have taken it seriously. The key that was placed into his wound. You never see keys like this anymore. Must be decades old. Oakley's head wound. He was hit hard and precise enough to crack open his skull. The bruising looks pretty precise, like they were able to open the skull in only a couple shots. Morgue lockers of various shapes and sizes to support all the different species that would frequent the space station, I imagine.
Organic material detected. No heartbeat registered. Dangerously low temperature identified. Initiating emergency thermal procedure. Initiating emergency shock resuscitation procedure. Error. Insufficient power. Battery damaged. New battery ordered. Arriving in 2 to 3 weeks.
It's been pillaged of most of its supplies, but a couple items are left. Jar with a heart in it, frozen solid. I'm not sure if this makes me Frankenstein or his monster. I am having the weirdest day.
Organic material detected. No heartbeat registered. Dangerously low temperature identified. Initiating emergency thermal procedure. Initiating emergency shock resuscitation procedure. Error. Insufficient power. Battery damaged. New battery ordered. Arriving in 2 to 3 weeks.
At least I can get rid of my frozen friend now.
Engaging bedside manner protocol. I tried to get a reservation at the library, but they were all booked up. Ha ha. Ha ha.
I have no words. All thawed out. Let's just pretend like you didn't ask me to do that.
Organic material detected. Heartbeat detected. The subject is within acceptable physical parameters. Your health status has been updated. You may return back to work. Have a good day, and please take your doctor's note.
And that actually worked. I don't believe that man has ever been to medical school.
If the doc says you're good to go, then you're good to leave. If the doc says you're good to...
The rain fell right on cue as I stepped out of the doctor's office. A few minutes later, lost, I wandered into some forgotten alley. Just as I was ready to give up and turn back, a figure appeared in the fog. Like an apparition calling to me, I followed it into the mist. As the haze cleared, I found myself standing in front of the old local museum. Propelled forward, I stepped through the doors. followed the dark and enticing figure to the local museum. Its neglect over the preceding years hadn't tarnished its prevailing beauty. I fretted the gentle rapping of the rain on the roof was deriving a false sense of security. Perhaps it was my sense of duty or an innate stubbornness, but I had no inclination of turning back. The plaque reads, "Here stands the Garaffa, the largest predator indigenous to the Macron asteroid belt. The Garaffa spends the majority of its time hunting and eating other indigenous creatures such as Cygni and Bombani. The Garaffa is best known for its intense yet unusual roar." That roar is pretty iconic these days. They made a horror picture a while back where a Garaffa ended up tearing its way through a rather unlucky crew aboard a star hauler. Although, most folks just remember the end with the foxy dame and her, unmentionables. And the skylight lights up the mural with a brilliant glimmer, and a stark remembrance of what this place once was. One could speculate they just gave up on packing this place midway. It's a shame, really, leaving all this to be forgotten. I rifle through the box for a time and find a battery, and everything else looks to be rubbish. The plaque reads, "Encased in this exhibit is Lucky, the first fish ever caught on Space Station 52. I'd postulate the name Lucky is meant to be ironic. The anti-grav device still seems to have some life left in it, but I don't see any way of retrieving it. I might be able to disrupt the gravity field with an electromagnet. For that, I'd require steel, copper wire, and a power source of some kind. Display case void of anything interesting. Even the plaques have been removed.
How am I? Oh! You startled me. Do you make a habit of lurking on ladies in the dark?
You make it a habit of lurking alone in the dark in abandoned buildings. Besides, aren't you the dame that was outside giving me the runaround?
Are you deriving the notion that I don't merit a chase?
And just because you're easy on the eyes doesn't mean you're worth the trouble.
If you keep staring, stranger, I may start charging you. I'm the reporter of the 52 Gazette.
The reporter? As in the one reporter?
What? You deem there isn't much newsworthy around here?
Couldn't really say. Just got here myself. I'm Ed.
Edward Locke. I'm aware.
How did you...
I'm the reporter. It's my business to know.
I'm investigating the murder of my predecessor, Oakley
Baxter, yes, that would make the two of us. But I believe I'm uncovering something much bigger than that.
Bigger than murder?
Pittances, kitten, pittances. Perhaps we could accommodate each other. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
What are you getting at, doll?
Well, I need to get at the information on this map display. But the console needs power first. If you can get me up and running, then I'll let you know, well, what I know.
Sounds like a square deal.
So, you'll need to gain access to the electrical closet behind me. Then route power through the junction boxes to the map display console.
Consider it done.
There's very little I don't consider. It's my
job. Yeah, I get it. Looks like a video game on an old silver disc developed here on the space station. The title reads 24 Hours with an Octopus. The display reads the original Killer Man mask used in the filming of Screech. Screech was filmed entirely on Space Station 52 and marks the first time 52 is used as the backdrop for a major motion picture. I remember that one, best known for a twist ending and an unusual use of a doggy door. The caption reads, Lynx jellyfish. These shocking creatures were the first genetically engineered species born on the space station, the culmination of the work of Dr. Alfonso Lynx. The plaque reads, Captain Willoughby Frankel is 52's most famous and revered fisherman. Captain Frankel has been the inspiration behind a multitude of characters and books, including the best-selling Shadow of a Day Gone. Console for the map display. The door's locked up tight, but there's a spot to scan a card. Look at this old thing. My father had one just like it. Maybe I can just ignore that no touching please sign and take a little gander inside. Someone must have been stashing their spare access card in here. Unfortunately, the card is downright filthy. That'll even scan in this state. An old broken up aquarium. Looky there, a battery inside the tank. Still have some juice, but I don't think I could reach it without incurring some serious lacerations. The plaque reads, Sculpture by local artist, Mona Moonbeam. The display reads, Anchor and rope from True Desire, the first ship to leave 52's docks. The caption reads, Photo of 52's pier during its grand opening. Interesting. The pier looks quite different today. If my memory serves me, that creature is a Cygni. They are indigenous to this asteroid belt and not something I'd like to dance with. An incredible fossil. Unfortunately, the plaque has been graffitied over. My mother would turn over in her grave if I reiterated what it said. The plaque reads, Here sits a construction bot and fabricating materials used in the manufacturing of Space Station 52. Another battery. Looks almost new. Box cutter. Seen some use, but it's still choice. Whoa, not keen on that idea. Gonna have to put an egg in his shoe so he can beat it. Feels unfit to be doing this, but I could really use your help. The taxidermy skin is thick. I managed to open it, but destroyed the box cutter in doing so. Looks like that took the piss out of him. Literally. Shouldn't need this speaker anymore. Now I really need a shower. But that did the trick. Took the grime right off. Tell from the fossil. It looks like a lack of attention allowed it to fall from the frame. Photo of a large vessel, but water damage has eroded the caption away. It's a no-go. The door is permanently sealed. Unlocked. Hey, an old-fashioned BLS chip. I can integrate it with my helmet. This can assist me in operating the older tech on the station. I have to route each sequence one at a time and in numerical order to get the power back up. The energy is insufficient to operate this whole place. But if I route the power, it should be enough for the map console. Pretty sure I saw 3 junction boxes in the previous rooms. They should be marked with red lights. I gotta find a way to reach it. The renewed light caused the nail to glint in the umbra. Some spare copper wire. Expensive looking vase. Normally I wouldn't condone pocketing a museum piece, but desperate times, I suppose. Well, it loosed the battery from the rock, but it's still nevertheless out of reach. Bingo. Collision cracked the base just enough to get the anti-grav device free. A miracle didn't break the thing in the first place. How the devil am I gonna get up there? Well, that worked surprisingly well. I watched the light on the anti-gravity generator flicker its last. Turns out dropping a 300-pound exhibit on a piece of technology isn't great for it. Console for the map display. Let's power it up.
Okay, enter these coordinates for me. Just as I thought. These localized earthquakes aren't random.
What do you mean?
Someone is targeting specific systems with the quakes.
Looks like someone is taking out failsafe systems. But why? Not exactly a high priority.
Like I said, Ed, there is much more going on around here than just murder.
What was that?
Sounds like it came from the electrical closet.
Let me check it out. Well, this wasn't open when I left it. Ed, don't jump down the scary dark hole just to see what's down there. Ah, crap. The cold air cut through my clothes like I was as bare as a newborn. The oppressive darkness begged me to turn back, especially with a killer likely haunting the blackness. But I felt propelled forward, like I'd been magnetized. I'm sure I've had better ideas. My father once said, sometimes you have to brave the darkness to find the light. He's a rotten son of a gun, but sometimes he gives good advice. Whoever the drain jumper was that escaped down here had no problem navigating the dark. This system hasn't been up and running in a long while. The MCPs manage a variety of systems around the station. I should be able to interface with it. The device appears to deliver a concussive sonic blast. The machinations of a madman, it seems, but this could actually work. An inscription scratched onto the contraption reads, "My red right hand." I sincerely hope whoever devised this weapon is long gone. It's difficult to describe the stench of these towels. I certainly hope they're actually useful. I hate to think I'm ruining my jacket for nothing. The cooking pot adorns the marks of an object decades old. Should still do the job, though. The walls and floor are a sort of diary of a maniac. Incoherent ramblings mixed with mathematical equations. It's been eroded away over the years, and I'm no professor, but the math appears at least somewhat sound. I shudder to ponder what the grand plan must have been. Looks like some little creature made itself a home up there. Appears old, but could be something useful in the nest. These accumulators gather info about the status of the shaft. I doubt it will be of any use to me. There are shafts similar to these all over the station. They help regulate airflow, oxygen, temperature, among other things. Well, here's a great idea. Let's use a death ray, made by a madman that was slapped together with spare parts. I'm sure this will end really well. Well, the door's gone. And so is the device. Neither held up to the blast. I need to match the sign on the wall to one of the three on the floor. Then I should be able to stop the power from chirping at me. That death ray thing sure did a number on that door. If I can get the display working, I can mark where the last shuttle went. I always hated these things, like a flying coffin. I'll need to fix the crack and sleuth out where the last shuttle went before I can leave. It's the docking bay for the maintenance shuttle. Just your standard mug, simple and efficient. The MCPs manage a variety of systems around the station. I should be able to interface with it. How's it hanging? You know, 'cause you're, hanging from a wall. You come here often? What's the buzz? Wait, I'm forgetting something. I was able to do some research on this place before I got here. I think I need to say a phrase to activate the bot's interface. What does MCP stand for again? Master Control Program.
Welcome, user.
Last destination, 0385J. That's the access point for this end. I'll need to deduct where the missing shuttle went if I want to stay on the pursuit. Master Control Program.
Welcome, user.
With electricity powered down, I can access the water. Well, razz my berries. Our rabbit managed to crack the glass on the shuttle before he went further down the rabbit hole. These shuttles pass through areas of zero atmosphere. This glass will crack like an egg with that pressure. I gotta discover a means to seal the crack before I can leave. I recall reading about a process of making primitive glue. You can boil elements of an animal, like the bones and hide. Well, razz my berry. Oh, and I thought they smelled bad before. Looks like some little creature made itself a home up there. Appears old, but could be something useful in the nest. Well, the creature that made the nest is still here, but I imagine much less lively. Just some old bones and a tail left behind. Master Control Program.
Welcome, user.
I'll need to change the temperature of the airflow before I put the pot in. Master Control Program.
Welcome, user.
I'm sure that will hold. Probably. The rain was falling like needles, chilling my blood. But I'm hot on the trail of a killer, and it's warming me up. My father always said the truth is a moving target. I never knew what he meant by that, but I'm beginning to understand. Gonna have to sort out that steam before I can move forward. I don't see any valves anywhere. what kind of fool throws away a good pair of pliers? Apex Noir. Darn good coffee. Looks like the ventilation controller. Cover's locked tight. Gonna need something to jimmy it loose. Once upon a time, this space station represented living the high life. Now it's just a rusting relic of the past. Looks to be a sort of handle. Could be useful. Fancy ice pick, I think. A little rich for my blood. Hey, an old T-17 cleaner bot. It's in pretty good shape considering it's older than my grandfather. These always were as tough as a $2 steak. There's a battery here, but it's dead. Maybe I can find a way to juice it. Missing some gizmos. Cleaning brushes, one ocular lens, liquid cleaner, and a charged battery. Well, this thing has more kinks than my ex, but it could actually still be worth having. An old broken tube, same model from when I was a kid. Brings me back to those old westerns I loved. More than once I've found myself in trouble with a BB gun in hand. Oh, must have hit my head harder than I thought. Keep it together, you. The cover came off with a satisfying ping as it fell, like a shell casing hitting the ground in one of those old detective movies my father loves. The newly bare inner workings reveal a bypass. If I can find a metal bar the correct size, I should be able to short out the ventilation unit. The steam hissed into stain as its life faded. My path clear, I took no small amount of joy watching the steam breathe its last. Some old cargo nets. Looks like it's just decorations. Some heavy sail canvas. Take a gander at that. An old buccaneer sword. It's out of reach, though. It's a coin of some kind. Some sort of coin. Now, you don't have to be a flatfoot to figure out these quakes are getting worse. The rumble appears to have jammed up the elevator. Gonna have to reset it or I'm dead in the water. I'd be annoyed if it wasn't technically my job. The rumble must have shook the sword loose. This brings me back to those old swashbuckling films I'd watched with my brother. Old popcorn, greasy seats, good times. Took some work with that somewhat dull sword, but eventually the canvas gave away, revealing a panel beneath it. The panel's bolts appear ragged and stripped from repeated use. With the right tool, the bolts could likely be pulled free. Well, look at that, a scandroid. Wait, did it say negative reinforcement? This is one strange place. All that aside, the scandroid should help me find the nodes hidden in this room. Then I can reset that elevator. Also, someone left behind a note. An aperture on top of the device cracked open. So long, you odd little scandroid. I need to find the proper object to place inside the aperture. Sword locked in place within the aperture, and bingo, elevator reset. You absolutely aren't going to find any of that as standard procedure in my technician's handbook. Those are Lynx jellies. They pack a huge electrical punch. That's a Nelumbo, I believe. Apparently they are a delicacy. I've never been able to afford one myself. Not sure what that thing is, but it's creeping me out. Look, a Siresis. I remember studying these in grade school. If I remember rightly, despite looking like a tough shell, they're actually quite soft. And that always stuck with me for some reason. Whoa, it looks like an authentic Ceglodon fossil. Those went extinct ages ago. They were indigenous to a Saturn moon. As a youngin', I spent many a night reading about strange creatures. Did it so much I would dream about it. Somebody left behind a matchbook. Only a single match left. Apparently, they're the self-proclaimed best band on Space Station 52. Some various bottles and glasses. Looking pretty bare these days. I bet at some point this was a hoppin' joint. Now there isn't a dame or jive bomber in sight. That's a big fish. You're gonna need a really big boat. What's with the shucked fellow in the corner? I'm beginning to recollect you lot have a real drinking problem. Nice chatting with you. I'll see what I can do about that bottle. Another coin, it seems.
Welcome, stranger. What you buying?
Hey, buddy. Looking for info.
Well, everything is for sale around here. Info included.
This your establishment?
Yes, sir. For 30 years, I've been helping the denizens of this space station drown their troubles.
So you probably know an Oakley Baxter.
Oakley? Let me guess. You want to know about his murder?
How did you know it was a murder?
It's my job to know what's going on around here.
I thought your job was drowning troubles.
One of many jobs. I have many hands in many jars. As you can see, you seem like you need some info, and maybe I could help you with that. But first, you gotta do me a favor. You sort out my bathroom, and I'll get you the info you want.
Your bathroom? I'm not a plumber.
You look like a sturdy and resourceful sort. Also, this isn't your common plumbing problem. Go see for yourself.
Strange request, but I guess I'm getting used to it. Find a body, solve a murder, clean a bathroom. Sure, why not? Why is it so dark in here? Where's the switch? Oh, that smell. Come on, my only pair of shoes. What am I standing in? Is it just me, or is the bathroom breathing? And I'm out. What in the 4 galaxies was that? What are you trying to pull? You trying to end me?
So you met our little friend. It's a Jagdax. They are these grimy creatures that grow out of filth and feces.
Yeah, my shoes are familiar. What am I supposed to do about it?
Hey, that's Your problem, stranger. If you want your info, deal with it.
With no badge to flash, I guess I'm at a loss. I'll need to figure something out. Front page of the local paper, the 52 Gazette. Headline reads, "The Drowning Sailor, Center of 52 Smuggling Ring." Guess the barkeep has no quarrel with the headline, if he has it proudly displayed up in his tavern. A notice for a series of code violations against the drowning sailor. This list is extensive and exact. It's signed Oakley Baxter, and that's the victim's name. Safe to say the barkeep has had his run-ins with the victim. The flyer reads, "Rat Boat, seeking new ultra-rad bass player to help take music to the heights of awesomeness and rock and roll. Anyone named Steve need not to apply." Well, they certainly have no shortage of self-confidence and cap-snapping for this Steve fella. It looks to be an old psychedelic art show flyer, premiering the work of a local artist named Mona Moonbeam. Moonbeam, huh? Looks like it was a real crack-up. The warmth of the fire bathed me in the cold, a nice reprieve from the frigid air. Now with the camera in hand, I can clearly see it's broken. The lens is still in good shape and could be used for the cleaner bot. Looks like cold storage and some kind of sorting machine for the inventory. Pink strawberry cloud. That's his favorite drink? Well, that's just embarrassing. Look at that, a whole 3% alcohol. How many of these are there? Here's your, bottle.
Don't you do?
I didn't say anything.
It's coming to you.
Sure.
Not a rumor about that here, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Who's that?
No, I'm good. You know, the more you talk, the worse it gets, right?
Yeah, don't be similar. Yeah, don't be you. It is a moment to be similar.
With pleasure. death rattle moonshine. Judging from the smell, it's either a drink or wood varnish. I bet this could be a great liquid cleaner substitute for the cleaner bot.
There's a knock, knock, knock at your door.
Unbelievable. That actually worked. Feel my hair stand up when the jellies unleash their full wrath. The flickering lights saturate the tunnel, an intense and harrowing encounter. Strangely, I was overwhelmed by a sense of deja vu. Did the trick though, battery fully charged. Missing some gizmos. I think you've gone bad. I should acquire all the parts to fix the bot before I work on it. Now you're all better. Jeez. These pockets are surprisingly spacious. All right, buddy, do your worst. Yeah, let him have it. I'd call that sorted. The bathroom is incredible. A monumental work of art. A person's life would be truly less complete by never seeing it. Oh well, I should go talk to the barkeep now. The Jag Dax has been taken care of. Now time to spill.
All right. Don't let it be said I'm not a man of my word. Yes, me and Baxter have had our, troubles. And yes, he was a real thorn in my side.
So you could say your relationship was tumultuous.
He was always writing me up for citations. Seems he had a real axe to grind, and apparently I was the grinding wheel.
So it would be beneficial for you if he, let's say, up and disappeared.
With our sham of a sheriff? Nah, really a minor inconvenience. Look, you wanna know how I didn't kill him? You found the body.
Right.
But to show you I'm a nice guy, here's a little tip. There's a small island hidden in the fog of Goldwater Lake. You may find some answers there.
And why just grant me this information?
Honestly, I can't really say. Maybe I'm just feeling friendly today.
Guess we'll find out.
One last thing. Careful asking questions. Sometimes the answers, don't want to be found.
A cool fog was rolling in over the lake water. Shafts of light punctured the mist like fingers shoved through a plastic bag. Like everything else here, the sunlight was artificial. A series of gears, wires, and gadgets ran this place. If you listen closely, you can hear their hum. Like some subtle dirge of life it pretends to be. Blowers like these are used to create that beach breeze everyone loves. Although I have no clue what it's doing here on the sand. Maybe it's a fan of getting a tan. Oh, I've been talking to myself too long. These units have their own power supply. It appears it's missing a fuse. Looks to be more art from this local artist I keep hearing about. What was it again? Mona something. All the shelves are bare. I guess he's not bothering to restock.
Well, hello there. Mr. Edward Locke, I presume?
Everywhere I go, people seem to know me before I know them.
We rarely get visitors, so you're the talk of the town.
Not sure if that's a good or bad thing.
I hear you've been helping fix things all over the station like a good lad. Maybe you could help out a poor fisherman and fix my display. I so miss it.
If I do, can you answer some questions for me?
Oh, yes. I've also heard you've been poking around. But sure, I'll answer your questions. I'll even give you access to my private beach If you want to go there.
Sounds like a deal, I think. Looks to be small pins given away for free to visitors.
Those are mainly for children, but sure, you can have one.
Wow, judgy. The display looks well kept. I could probably get it running again easy. The angler here is quite accomplished. All the mounts on the wall are his, and these aren't fakes. All frames and no pictures. The picture frames are labeled, mostly historical events and different founders of the space station. The hatch won't open until I get some power to it. Looks like there's a breaker box behind the bot over there. All the shelves are... An old worker bot. I imagine it was used to work the docks in its heyday. The bot has a drawer in its chest with a simple-looking lock. Bogus. The fish are fake. They must have been used like a prop to make the dock seem more active and lively. Most of the props must have been sold off by now. Picking at the bones. I don't know what that thing is, and I don't want to find out. Those are devil's teeth. Even though they appear like rocks, they're actually alive and secrete poison. It's quite painful if you get it on your skin. That motor could be handy to get to the island. I'll need to use the crane to acquire it. Also, I gotta find a way to cross the water without taking a swim with whatever's in there. It seems upset. It's a fuse that's still in decent shape. Doesn't appear that it's needed for the crane. Lemons. These are quite a delicacy and worth a pretty penny. I remember reading about them. They're indigenous to some distant planet. Can't seem to remember the name of it. Seems odd to just have them sitting here. They won't miss one. There are many goods in boxes that seem to be clumsily thrown into a pile. For a space station in desperate need of supplies, what they do have is given very little care.
If it isn't the old gravekeeper himself.
Hello again. I'd like to ask you some questions about a certain hidden island.
Not so fast, Molly. I may answer your questions, but I'll need something from you first.
Sounds about right.
See, the chest here contains something of great importance to me. Retrieve it, and I'll give you your info. Maybe.
What? Why do you need me for that?
The locking mechanism seems jammed with rust. Everything I've tried only seems to make it worse. Besides, I've forgotten the combination of the lock.
Alright, I pop the lock and you give me the info. Sounds like a deal. Looks like the dockmaster has been pilfering the best stuff for himself for quite some time now. A lot of boxes not going where they're supposed to. He's made himself a fort. The chest seems to have a strange locking mechanism. But I have another problem to deal with first. The lock is rusted over. Could merely be surface rust. Maybe if I find a way to remove the rust, I can still operate the mechanism. Always loved these things. No idea why, though. A salty winch. The front board looks a bit loose. With the right tool, I should be able to pry it open. A makeshift label has been pasted over the original. Most of these boxes are now being sent to the drowning sailor. The barkeep and the dockmaster must be working together as part of the smuggling ring. The drawer slid open, and I found a pry bar inside. Strange combo, a rope and some salt. Let's give this a shot. Rust's gone. Rust is finished, but figuring out this lock without a cipher is gonna be difficult. The ropes are in place, but the bot is too heavy to tighten them by hand. I can access the breaker box now, and the bot lost an arm in the process. Powered up. I should be able to open the hatch now. That's quite the display. I see why I missed it.
Thanks for your help, dear boy. Let me open the door for you. Ask your questions if you must.
Is this your bait shop?
Yes. A little gift to myself for retirement.
You seem a bit young to be retired.
I was very fortunate in my previous life, so I retired early.
This place is looking pretty bare.
Dear boy, there was no need to restock anymore. You're the only visitor I've had in a long while. Closing up shop soon, for the last time.
Did you know Oakley Baxter?
I know of him, but only by reputation. I tend to stick to my shop and fishing. Not much for conversation. In fact, dear boy, I believe I'm done speaking now. Why don't you run along?
Yeah, be seeing ya. I guess. Well, that was mostly pointless. What a wonderful smell I've discovered. It's a bucket full of fish of questionable freshness. Why do I carry around the things I do? The state of this place makes me wonder why they bothered to transfer me here. Although, I'm beginning to believe it's my fate to be here at this time. Just some old junk. I don't know what this thing is. There we are. Looks like it could be the key for the crane. The boat looks seaworthy, but it's not going anywhere without a motor. Also, I have the small problem of not knowing where I'm going exactly. This should do it. I hope that plank isn't too important to some vessel around here. I should be able to utilize this to cross that gap on the pier. Looks sturdy enough. Now that the crane's lowered, I need to venture out to the motor to hook it up. fed him up a buffet. Let's be careful now. Now I have a bucket full of poison fish. What am I doing with my life? I better not chance it. I'll just throw the whole thing in. I hope they don't return anytime soon. Well, that's the motor taken care of. There are some coins inside the bottle. The viewfinder snapped and spit out a photo of some nearby rocks. I guess I got myself a little souvenir. Rust is finished, but figuring out strange. The only thing in the box is a creepy little stuffed toy. Here's your... well, I'm not sure what it is exactly.
It's the last thing me mama gave me before she devoured my father and swam back into the sea. I was just a pup myself.
That explains a lot, actually.
Just kidding.
Oh,
It is more like a large lake really than the sea.
yeah, that makes it better.
Didn't you have some questions about an island?
What can you tell me about this mysterious island?
Well, I can tell you that very few people even know it exists. And I'm sure the proprietor would like to keep it that way. Just follow the map and you will get there.
Seems like you have quite the operation going on here.
What? Are you going to pick up that mantle now? Word of advice. Leave that mantle buried with Oakley.
I'm gonna wager a wild guess that you've had your run-ins with Oakley Baxter.
Of course I have. That man left splinters under the skin of everyone he met.
Did he ever give you any, gup about your little, treasure trove here?
He certainly tried, but not much you could do about it. Some individuals never know their place, but I guess he found out.
Never mind. How long have you been on 52?
Actually, I'm new to these parts, but I feel like I fit right in.
See you around. Time to try my sea legs. Would you look at that? When traveling to a mysterious island in the heart of a perpetual veil of fog, the last thing I suspected to find was a quaint little house. There's something soothing yet lonely about this place. No man is an island, they say. Sure, if that makes you feel better. Ugh, not again. I'm losing it. The plaque reads, name, Vanilla Cloud, medium, terracotta, year, 3132, like a maverick bird oddly cruising through the sky. The plaque reads, name, Rising Sun, medium, stone, year, 3049, every darkened moonfall preludes a brighter sunrise. The waterfall is something worth seeing. Too bad this place is lost on most. Small sculptures are scattered all about. Looks like somebody has been at this for a good while. The house has seen better days, but still possesses a certain charm. The plaque reads, name, Deep Waters, medium, clay, year, 3056. Still waters run deep. Carl.
Sure. Just come in without knocking.
Sorry about that, miss.
Miss, do I really look that old? I long for the days when I was someone's doll. There are my manners. Just because you've forgotten yours doesn't mean I should forget mine. My name is Mona Moonbeam.
Ah, you're the one whose artwork I've seen all over this space station.
Well, a body of work 400 years old will do that for you.
400 years?
I haven't always looked or sounded like this. I once had a body that would turn heads so fast it could snap necks.
So how do you find yourself sporting this, still figure?
My entire life I've been striving to produce the perfect piece of art. Just one work to be remembered by. I grew older and realized it wasn't going to happen in one lifetime. I spent every cold dime of my fortune to give myself more time. I came here while 52 was being built, and I have been here ever since. One day I will emerge with the perfect piece. One day.
Could I bend your ear for a bit? I'm investigating the death of Oakley Baxter.
Oakley? Well, I may know a thing or two.
But
But could a strapping young gentleman such as yourself lend a hand to an old gal?
some mutual back scratching. Again. Sure, what'll it be?
Your arrival has got me inspired to work on something new. But I need your assistance. First things first, how about you get my tune spun up for me? The darn thing stopped working on me the other day. I've never really been technologically inclined, and I need music to set the mood. Once you've gotten that taken care of, come speak to me, and I'll let you know what I mean next.
Interesting. That's a unique flower. Never seen one before.
Actually, Oakley gave it to me due to all his snooping. He found out about my secret little island. I wasn't sure if I could trust him with my secret. I believe he gave me the flower as a sort of peace offering. It's apparently known as the Anya flower, which also lives for hundreds of years. It was surprisingly thoughtful.
Baxter's surprisingly thoughtful gift. I guess there's still a lot I don't know about Mr. Oakley.
Next, I need you to open my supply closet for me. I accidentally shut it the other day, and it's been so long since I've unlocked it, I've forgotten the combination.
How am I supposed to know your lost combination?
You're a bright boy. I'm sure you can manage it. Toot sweet.
The plaque reads, Name, Gentleman Octopus. Medium, Terracotta. Year, 3350. Always a gentleman, but always handsy. Well, this is a creepy find. I wonder why it's the only one covered in a sheet. The plaque on this sculpture is different from the others. It simply reads, Death holds the keys. Sure, a creepy little doll. What addict is complete without one? The plaque reads, Name, Bedrock. Medium, Stone. Year, 3489. From deep within Johnson's cave.
Now, would you be a mensch and gather some supplies for me? And I will answer all your questions. First, I'm feeling nostalgic. How about a vase similar to the oldest sculpture I have sitting around my house? Most of them have been sold and shipped off elsewhere, but there are a select few I couldn't bear to part with. Yes, that is exactly what I'm looking for. Second, I need a tool with more than 2 points and at least 1 curved blade. But you'll also need a straight edge. Yes, that will serve well for what I'm envisioning. Yes, that is exactly what I'm looking for. Third, let's mix the old with the new and use the medium for my most recent sculpture. Can't keep living in the past, can we? Yes, that is exactly what I'm looking for. Fourth, the color. How about something befitting a gentleman such as yourself? A tribute for your dutiful help. Yes, that is exactly what I'm looking for. That should be everything. Ask away.
I've seen your art all over 52.
Well, I was one of the very first to step foot on this station. I guess this station is just as much a part of me as I am it.
Did you know Oakley Baxter?
Oh yes, what a sweet soul he had. And a real lover of the arts.
Do you think this piece could be the one? Your perfect piece?
Can't be sure yet. Eventually, the sculpture will tell me what it wants to be. You can't force it. I'm sorry, but I really must get to work while the inspiration is striking.
Oh, of course. The only problem is I don't know where to go next.
The reporter works out of the old lighthouse. Why don't you take your boat over to her? I'm sure she can help.
Well, thank you, miss. Thank you, doll.
Good luck, Edward.
The outboard motor turned its final rotation as I coasted the last few feet to the shore. Bon voyage, I thought to myself as the small craft floated back out into the water, where she was swallowed up into the rolling fog. No worries, though. I knew I could reach the rest of the space station by land from the lighthouse. A nebularian gravewood tree has wrapped itself around the lighthouse. Gravewoods are named as such because they grow almost exclusively in cemeteries on Nebular. What one was doing on this space station clutching to this lighthouse was anyone's guess. It's a plaque commemorating the lighthouse and its construction. Judging from this, the building was more of a tourist trap than an actual functioning lighthouse. And the plaque is bolted to the rock, Given the right tool, I could probably loosen it. Now, the tree has worked its way inside the lighthouse. Still appears structurally sound, though. Why would the reporter dame let things get this out of hand? Wind turbines were outdated technology, even when 52 was first built. Some fool must have thought they'd just look cool, because they're pretty much useless on a space station. Someone has modified the top of the lighthouse with a high-powered telescope and parabolic audio receiver. Funny thing about it, it seems devised to observe the space station itself, and not the luminaries above. A barrel of Neuroblight? This stuff has been banned for decades. It's a chemical used in printing, but is highly toxic. I'm sure nothing could go wrong with me carrying some around, right? Given the size of the gravewood tree, it's been here for a long while. The bitter bright fruit is very uncommon. The gravewood tree only produces 1 or 2 at any given time. Problem with bitter bright fruit is it tastes awful, often referred to jokingly as tasting like death. Dark humor, I suppose, but an apt description. Some animals, on the other hand, will lose their caps over them. A handful of washers. Stacks and stacks of old newspapers. The reporter is apparently speaking more than others are listening. A fire extinguisher with a hose attached. Feels empty though. The roots have burst their way out of the wall, slowly taking over the interior. Beautiful in its own way. It's a burglar owl. They're known for scavenging shiny materials and decorating their beards and nests with them. The elevator door is jammed with a gap at the bottom and won't open all the way. With a strong enough impact, I may be able to jar it loose. That's done it. That childhood baseball camp finally paid off. Let's see if this works. Wow, the owl dove on that dreadful fruit like it was his last meal. A screwdriver, how practical. The removed bolts are in such bad shape they're essentially useless, but the plaque itself is fine. The door protested with a loud grind, but eventually gave way. The elevator revealed behind it felt ominous, yet beckoning. My knees nearly caved in as the elevator came to a violent and abrupt halt before reaching the second floor. I managed to pry open the doors and discovered our root problem was much more extensive than I had realized. It's a crawler drone. The drone is infamous for its spying abilities. It's a famous painting of an even more famous musician. Mr. Toro is intergalactically known for his guitar playing and hit song, Labyrinth Hell in the Shape of Pacific Peak. The thicket seems to have taken over the whole second floor. I can't reach the hatch. If I had something long and flat enough, I could probably pry this open. Something fell out of the vent. A rigid instant furniture pill. I've never seen one in real life. I remember those terrible late night commercials for them. Just add water and boom! Instant furniture. At least that's what the commercial said. Well, how about that? Worked as the commercial said. Now I can reach the hatch. Well, there's your problem. I'm gonna need to find a way to clear these roots before I can continue. Just need to clear it enough to climb the ladder in the shaft. It would take all day to cut through. Maybe I can use the ventilation system and create some sort of herbicide. I'll have to make sure the only vent open is the one in the elevator shaft for that to work. The lights indicate the elevator shaft vent is open. The third floor vent is closed. The second floor vent is open. The first floor vent is open. If I had something long. Let's see if I can use this guy to close the vent. I'll program it into the autopilot. Looks like I can manually control the bot to find the vent. The second floor vent is shut now, but I lost a bot in the process. Chemicals are in place, and I need something to connect the barrel to the Atmo system. The hose is connected up, but needs some way to secure it. Only have enough of the chemical for one shot at this. Wouldn't want the hose to come loose. Everything's ready to go, just need to activate the atmosphere controller. But first I have to make sure the elevator shaft vent is the only one open. Doubt I'll have enough chemical left to cover more than just the shaft. Hold on to your hindquarters. Looks like it worked as planned. Let's go see the damage. All done with that. It's the high-powered telescope I saw outside. No way I'm using it. I already feel like a peeping Tom just standing next to it. Back issues of the Gazette. More copies than people to read them. An ancient printing press. Looks like the reporter likes to do things the old-fashioned way. Hey, I found the key. The cabinet's locked. I should search around for a key. No, not her too. Judging by her state, she's been dead for days. That's not possible. I was just talking to this dame hours ago. I don't understand. What am I seeing?
I can do it. I can save him.
Mom?
What you're doing is wrong. You have to stop.
Dad?
I've already lost one son. I'm not going to lose another.
They are gone. We have to let them go. Let them rest. We will see them again.
You know I don't believe that. Besides, he's not gone. He's right here. Look at him.
I am looking, and that's the problem. You've created a monster. This is not my son. How's he supposed to live the rest of his life this way?
I'm working on that now. That's why I asked you to come here. I'm creating a suit.
A suit?
Yes. We will tell him that he must never take it off. If he does, then he'll die from the injuries in the train crash.
You want me to lie to him for the rest of our lives?
He'll never have to know. He can be happy. We can be a family. Please tell me you'll do this.
What you're doing is wrong.
Please. I mean, it's already done.
Fine, but you're still wrong. We won't be a family after this. It'll never be the same. He will never be the same.
But I won't lose him.
Hello, Ed.
What's happening? What did I just see? What are my parents talking about? You're dead. How are you here?
I'm sorry I couldn't tell you before. But I think you're ready now.
Ready for what?
I think you already know. Just remove your helmet and you will see.
I can't remove my helmet. I'll die.
Please trust me, Edward. I promise you'll be fine. See, there is no one else quite like you.
What? No one else is a monstrous freak?
No, Ed. You're not like anyone else because you're... It's hard to explain. You're half dead and half alive. That's how you're able to speak to me now, and how you've seen the things you've seen.
I don't understand.
Did you see the bodies? The bodies in the sea cave? Did you see their spirits reaching out to you?
Yeah, I guess they're trying to upgrade me to full dead.
They weren't trying to harm you. Their voices have been drowned under the water for so long. They need your help, Edward. That's why you're special. You can hear the voices of the forgotten and still do something about it.
What can I do? I'm just a repairman.
Mechanical engineer, and you know what you need to do.
You're right. It's time to finish this. Track down the keychain killer to the atmosphere building. This will end where it started.
Edward, dear boy, is that you? Come on in. Take a seat. Have some tea.
Well, I guess there's no hiding from him.
Do you like what I've done with the place? Cozy, isn't it? Atmosphere. Building filth and lies.
It's some sort of bioorganic material. It's very viscous and sticky. It's some sort of... creepy old robot with a globe locked to its head. Normal day.
Oh, she would never shut her mouth, so I shut it for her.
The fire extinguisher fills about half full. There was enough juice left in the extinguisher to freeze the lock. The glove she was wearing could be useful, but the lock and the extinguisher have had it. Hey, since you're awake now, would you mind opening that access door for me? Is that a yes? Yeah, that's probably yes. Wow, that's toxinite. That stuff is highly acidic. I don't want to go anywhere near it. Looks like someone tried to clear the toxinite with the crowbar. That stuff is so toxic it ate up half the crowbar in the process. It seems the toxinite has spread everywhere but where the light is. There's a strong beam of light coming from the overhead bulb. Well, I guess that explains why the door was jammed. Not much left other than some shards of glass.
Oh no, I may have broken the elevator. What are you going to do now?
Like the proverbial cheese, this stanchion stands alone. A big, sticky ball of steel. Huh. I guess Disco isn't dead.
Welcome to the end, dear boy.
He's trying to destabilize the reactor and destroy the whole station. Maybe if I can vent the red reactor coils, I can stop this.
Do you really think you can stop me? They ruined my works, so I will annihilate them. I'm creating this place. It's mine to destroy. Dear, clever boy. Did you really think you could puzzle your way out of this one?
Oh, he's toying with me. This isn't going to work. I'll have to face him.
You weren't able to see 52 in its greatest glory. My dream embodied. But at least you can see its end. A grand finale for a grand vision.
Why are you doing this? All the people.
Well, they took the best years of my life to build this place. Then they handed me the keys to the city. Then they ruined everything I created with their filth and narrow minds.
The quakes. You were preparing the station for this moment.
You're a smart boy. Too smart, like Oakley was. I killed him, and now I will kill you. Only one key left, but sorry. Saving that one for myself. Goodbye, Edward Locke.
Every man must confront his past. You can't run from it or hide. The best you can do is face it and try not to flinch. Well, he flinched.